Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Wow, I am here, guys. Wanted to be here earlier today than later. It's a busy day already, but I am making a time to get here to speak to you guys. I hope everyone had a great weekend and that everything is okay and that these messages are really helping you. Um, some of them will resonate with you and other messages may not. But I'm hoping that everyone who hears these messages that they can be uplifted and know that any struggle or challenges that you have, that you can overcome them instead of succumbing to them. So, guys, remember, I'm not a therapist or a social worker or a counselor, just someone who's going through a lot, and I talk about ways to overcome um, instead of getting to a place of despair or succumbing to these trials and challenges. So, the topic of discussion today is abuse and healing. You can heal your pain after going through a lot of abusive situations. I'm living proof of that. It's not easy, it takes a lot of strength within and a lot of resilience and perseverance to get through the pain of abusive connections, whether it's a romantic one, whether it's family, whether it's friendship, whatever it is, you can get through it. And I'm living proof of that. It took so much within me because once you look at the pain of the situation, it's hard to look at that. And I understand anybody listening to this video if you're going through circumstances because many of us don't want to talk about these things. However, in order to heal and get through, we have to address what I always use as a metaphor, the elephant in the room. And when we address it and look at it, even if we fall to our knees in pain, it's okay to let yourself feel the pain, guys. I used to be embarrassed about that before, crying on my knees, but that's a way for an outlet to release that pain. Because when you walk around like, oh, yeah, I'm okay, and you're not using an outlet to release that pain, it stays stuck within you like a ton of bricks. And you carry that everywhere you go, whether you're in a connection or not. Just in general, you carry that. And when you carry that weight, it can show in so many different ways. And it's hard to move on with your life because look at it the way that I uh, gain the clarity. Life and circumstances and challenges and situations, people, circumstances come into our life for a reason, a season, a lifetime, or a lesson. And what I had to learn, especially after doing the work in therapy, is that these are lessons. Some people are not meant to stay in our life. They are only there, they come into our life to teach us lessons or learn lessons that we probably have repeated over and over again. And they are there to teach us. And once we learn, it could be a situation of betrayal, whatever it is, for us to learn. I'll use myself as an example. I kept attracting narcissistic individuals, whether it was a romantic relationship or friendship. People who always want to tell me what to do, like I was their child, and they had to reprimand me and tell me I got to do it like this and twist it around like that and go around the corner like this. And I'm an adult, and that's how those narcissistic relationships went. And, I was butting heads like this all the time, fighting, defending myself, and it was getting worse and worse. That connection in, wait a little while, go into another one, it's the same scenario. Different character, but same scenario over and over again. When the wheels spin, another cycle, the same cycle, different characters. Until I sat down in therapy, did the pro and con list. Why was this happening to me all the time? I'm a good person. I give my heart, blah, blah. And then the malicious lies, the gossip. hearing things about myself that I would never do, never done in my life. But people would believe it. And the people who did believe it and got on the hate train is because they were already hating due to their envy and jealousy. And then, the betrayals were from people who I thought had my back were my friends. But I had to be sat down to see that these are unlearned lessons. Learn the lesson, because when I will spin again, it's going to be worse. The next set of characters coming in is going to be worse than the last. And I had to see the clarity in this. Of course, I was angry, upset, and bitter for a long time. But bitterness, let me tell you about that, guys. If you stay in a place of bitterness, whether because of a broken romantic connection, or family, or friends, or whatever it is, then whoever brought that pain upon your life, they go take your power, because now you're in a place of bitterness. They take that and they move it on with somebody else and with a whole bunch of other people or whatever, while you sit here in bitterness, thinking about what happened and how you feel and why and etc. You can allow yourself to feel the pain and hurt and anger and all of that. But don't stay in that place, because it could lead to despair. And then you can't heal from it if you're stuck in a place of stagnation and bitterness. Because that person who did that to you is on to the next person to do it to somebody else. And that's how, I was in these connections. Narcissistic people can't have empathy. They are not capable of giving love. All they can do, they like to attract generous people who they think are naive and, that they can take advantage of and use like a doormat, like they thought I was. And for a while, it was that way. I had to look at the elephant in the room. I had to heal from it. I didn't want to look at it, didn't want to do the work, but I had to. Otherwise, I was going to repeat another cycle of this, and it was going to be worse. And once I saw the clarity of that, I started to do the work, guys, because I did not want to repeat another cycle of this kind of stuff. And when I saw the traits of narcissistic individuals, I even did some research on it, and everyone from the past that I was with, for the most part, were narcissists. Or they were there, and then one of the longest relationship that I had with a narcissistic person, it was really bad. I mean, I had wrote a book. I wrote 3 books. The second book that I wrote, and I was so proud of it because I had just finished college, graduated, worked on a book, and had an argument with a narcissistic ex, because as I was growing and doing better, narcissistic people don't want to see you level up and grow and heal, because then they can't, what's the word I want to use? They can't deceive you. They can't do you the way they want to do you, because your eyes are open. You're aware. If you're not aware of it, then, it's okay. But you start to become aware of this behavior. And so we had this nasty argument. And then I was told, yeah, I invited a lot of people over, and we sat and had wine, and we opened up your book, and we had a good time making fun of the blah, blah, this and that, and whatever in your book. I was horrified to hear that. That's when I said, I got to get out of this relationship, because this is not a relationship. This is just cruelty. And the title of this discussion is Abuse and Healing. You can heal from it, because I was called so many horrific things, said I was nothing, I was less than zero, never was going to be anything. And look at you, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have anything, even though I had a job and I had things before I met this ex. But this is the trait and character of narcissistic individuals. Remember, they are not able to show empathy. And not even real love, not capable of it. And I had to see that, and I had to learn the traits, research, and see it for what it is and not what I wanted it to be. But what caught me and made me stay so long as I did is because a narcissistic person can, oh, baby, I'm sorry. They can be generous, and they can be loving, at least the situation I had for a while. And then boom, before you know it, here we go with the abuse again and the negativity, and you're walking a tightrope. You don't see it coming because they will, charm you for so long, and you think everything is so nice and wonderful and wow, and then boom, out of nowhere, and you did nothing wrong. This is just how it is, like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, you know. And over and over again, it's like walking on a tightrope. It was so bad, guys, that when we were out in public, and people like to talk to me. They just come up and talk, and I talk, and then when I get to the house, that's an argument. It didn't matter whether it was a guy or another woman. It was an argument. Do you know her? Do you know him? No. So why are you talking to him? And boom, 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 and then the name calling, and then and then it progressed to physical, and I had to get out of it because it just was not good. And then I blame myself for allowing it to get to that point. And my therapist had to help me to pick up your self-esteem from the ground, put it back up on your shoulder, build it up, because you are worth it. This is that person's loss. And we had to do a pro and con list, because my therapist asked me, Lisa, okay, do a pro and con list of what you brought to the table and what this ex brought. And the pros that I brought outweighed the situation of the pros that this ex brought, which wasn't a lie. It was just a lot of love bombing and all of this to get their way, and to, keep me on a tightrope and like a puppet on a string. But as I grew, healed, and evolved, I started to see the situation as it was and not the way I was seeing it before. Once you wake up and see things for what they really are, you can't unsee them, and then you make changes, make better decisions. As you heal, you cry it out, you go through what you have to go through. We're human, we're imperfect, we make mistakes. Forgive yourself, and then forgive that individual. And the forgiveness is not for them, it's for you, so that you can move on, so that what I just said before, so that you don't stay in a place of stagnation and bitterness. Because if you stay in that point, they win against you, because they moved on to someone else, something else, while you're over here stuck. Never allow that. Do the work. It's not easy, it's hard, but persevere. Be resilient. You wake up, you don't do something that day, get up and go and, do the work little by little. And what I would suggest is have a therapist that you feel comfortable with, that you can talk to, and they can work with you and help you. One day at a time, one step at a time. There's nothing to feel ashamed of. The only shame is staying in an abusive situation with someone who don't value you, and who disrespect you, and who belittles you, and who don't see your worth. Because there's no growth there. And you don't have to be in those type of situations. As you heal, grow, you self-love, you self-care, and then you start to see things from a different perspective. And as you do that, you can't unsee it. So take care of yourself, guys. Continue to move forward, and start with therapy, because as you do that, as you talk out those things, let yourself cry, etc., everything with a therapist is confidential. And as you build up the trust with them, you start to speak about these things, and that's an outlet for the pain. Going to the gym, working out, that's another outlet. Walking in nature, music, do things to build yourself up, and keep yourself away from people who want to see you broken down, busted, and disgusted. That's the message today, guys. I hope this helps someone, because people may come to this channel listening because they have situations that they don't want to talk about. But if they hear the message, they can be uplifted, because I use my own personal experiences on how I became an overcomer instead of succumbing to these trials and tribulations. Thank you for being here. This is Lisa, shedding love and light. Go and enjoy your day, guys, and I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Invite others here as well. Subscribe to the channel. Comment and let me know how these messages are helping you, and I'll see you and tune in tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Bye for now, guys.